And I am live now. It should let me share chat once it actually registers. Start share chat. I'm live now, bitch. What the hell you doing? There we go. All right, cool. I sent the shared chat with you, Witty.
Oh, okay. I got my mic muted. I was like, hold on, let me make sure I'm muted.
Dude, this looks so good on stream. Oh my god, I love this. I love this loop, bro.
Pull that shit up.
This looks so good, bro.
I want to see it. I want my laptop to cooperate so I can see.
Yeah, in the self promo link, I'm gonna send my Twitch link so you'll be able to see it there.
Hell yes.
But man, it looks fucking amazing, bro.
Miss Witty.
Miss Witty.
Yes, sir. Man.
Oh no, Sprox.
As much as that redeem is great, with how often people just spam it,
it gets pretty old, I ain't gonna.
Yes. No, that's the fun part about certain redeems, that you just want to leave on spam, because you know people are gonna just sit there and spam.
I don't mind it when Rye does it, because it's funny when Rye does it, but when everyone else just starts following it, I was like, all right, now this is just getting like out of control.
Like, this is Rye.
That's the Rye specialty right there.
Oh, that looks so... Oh, I fucking love this.
Masterpiece, ain't it?
I can't pull it up on my phone, otherwise it will kick me from Discord.
It's all good. It's all good. But man, we outdid ourselves, bro. We outdid ourselves. And I've been doing a lot of like behind the scenes work, talking to a lot of people, man, to get them on the podcast. A lot of people are really shy. They don't want to speak. But I think with time and, you know, the charisma that I give, we gonna slowly get some more people on here. Don't worry. Don't worry.
God, I mean, yes.
That's how I was till I was like, I would like to be on one day, and then just kind of.
And now look at you.
It works out.
Now look at you.
Like, hey, I've been thinking about it, and you immediately messaged me in the chat.
You said yes, please.
Right.
Wait, what the? Okay, let me get that pulled up.
Boom.
There's questions.
What's going on, Crab Universe? Appreciate you for contributing towards the challenge, Zenef. Thank you. Let me see here. Let me see if it's actually going through. Mute this for a second. Give me a second.
I think my laptop has just finally given up.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
It's 6 years old.
It's Dunsky. Hold on, I'm gonna
that's
do my
too damn bad.
Thing.
You gonna keep digging.
I'm gonna mute it. It's too damn bad.
Pearl, what's up, girl? Girl. Crab Universe, what's up? For those who don't know Pearl, she's a real cool streamer as well in my chat. She's one of the people I was trying to get on for this podcast in the future. So we gonna get her on in the future, y'all. Don't y'all worry. But thank you for coming through for episode 9. Oh, we're on episode 9. Can y'all believe that?
This is episode 9?
Yes. It's crazy.
I thought we were further than that.
Man.
I just fucking killed 3 people. Holy shit.
Where's the video at? Where's my shadow video at?
Gotta heal. Hold on.
I mean, it's not a stream unless there's technical difficulties.
Right?
We were already talking about that earlier.
Oh my goodness, bro. Let me test out this shout out. I'm gonna just shout out Zenef real quick. See if that does anything. Okay.
What? I didn't see that before.
So it shows up here.
What? Mommy? Why are you calling me mommy?
But not here. What am I missing?
That genuinely freaked me out. She was there once. I looked away and
something
she was
about the
gone.
layers.
What? No way. Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I just need to.
Laptop booted up.
If your overlay, if your overlay layers are layered incorrectly.
Oh yeah. You not lying. Hang on. So let me see where I have it at. Yeah, I gotta put this at the top. That's why. That's why it's acting like that. Right now.
Sometimes I know a thing or two.
Yeah. Yeah, you's an expert, man. You are the expert here, bro. Right, now let's see if this plays now.
I only work here.
There we go. There you go. That's what she plays. She plays a lot of Fortnite.
Shit.
And it's always vibes in there, bro. Always vibes in her chat. So definitely make sure to give her a follow.
I'm
You know
watching
what
an
I-
ad at the moment.
You know what I didn't do? I didn't check the questions before ahead of time.
All right.
You haven't posted somewhere?
Yeah, so go in podcast chat and then you'll be able to see the questions there. Yay, share chat. Yay. All right, cool. Is everybody ready?
Here they are.
I am.
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Witty, you good? She's probably busy doing something.
Yes, we are ready to go. I'm sorry, I was talking, trying to get through everything.
Nightmare, appreciate you for the follow, bro.
98, welcome aboard the chariot.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, shared chat should be working now too. I think I got it all fixed up now.
Awesome.
Maybe.
Awesome. Welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to episode 9 of the Comatose podcast. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Episode 9. Y'all realize we about to be on episode 10 next month? It's crazy to even think about that, bro.
I know. That's so fucking exciting, though.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
Witty, we've come a long
10
way.
is crazy. Yeah. Well, I'm even thinking, so we're doing this once a month. So that's 10 months. That is 10 months that we've been doing this.
Yes.
And now that just means, well, and that makes me put into perspective how long I've actually been doing streaming in general now. So it's been like I know a year is when I started in February. So I've been going like a year and 2 months now. And that's a wild concept to think that I stuck this long doing it like this consistent. I guess.
Shit, that discipline, baby.
Oh, thank you for the streaks, Zenef. 15.
It's crazy how us just
Make it in here.
It's crazy how us just taking a chance on doing something that we love to do, just play games and chat with people, could have led to something like this. So I just want to take time for just all of us here who've been contributing to this whole vision and say thank you, man. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you to Witty. Thank you to myself. And thank you to just everybody who's been supporting all of our individual and group efforts, man, because without this group effort, we wouldn't have made it to 9 episodes. So I want to thank every single person here, bro. Thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you guys. Like, yeah, no, seriously, we couldn't have done this without. I mean, it could have just been us two talking back and forth, but it wouldn't have been as personable and entertaining without people willing to share their stories and just kind of be open. I love it.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. That's what I want to do. But to continue forward with the intros, it is I, the true guy, the dope guy, the ultimate guy, the fun guy, the real guy, Mr. Malik, the realest man breathing, the Lone Stone Playboy, the champion's chariots, and the master of the mind. And I'm here with wonderful guests, wonderful creatures here today. I have my partner in crime, my co-host, Whitmire Waifu, Witty Waifu here.
Hey, hello.
I have the best dude in the world, aka Mr. Gregarious, Z-Fighter, Zenef.
Oh, what's up, everybody?
I have my one awesome new special guest that's finally on the podcast, Mr. Nightmaredriver98.
Hello.
And last but not least, my IRL friend, Dr. Spec, with the PhD in TLC. What's going on, Spec?
Yo, what's up?
Yes, sir. We also have one more guest, Fedew. Unfortunately, he said he's gonna be a little late because I guess the time zone difference, he's overseas and we're in the States, and usually overseas people, it's either nighttime or the middle of the day for them, but it's usually a bad time at times like this for us in the States versus them overseas. So we'll see him probably by like 15 to 20 minutes down the podcast. So we're gonna make sure to save space for him when he comes in. But in the meantime, I just want to take time to have both the new guests, Nightmare and Spec, just introduce themselves, and then we're gonna ask them 2 tailored questions specific to them. So I just want to start with Nightmare. Nightmare, go ahead, tell us who you are, where you come from, everything you feel comfortable telling us, man.
Hello, I'm Nightmare, as Malik said. I live in a state that Witty says doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, but yes, continue.
It's in the middle of nowhere, honestly.
Courage the Cowardly Dog, hold up.
Oh yeah, basically.
I do a bunch of different things. I've had a bunch of different jobs.
I'm trying to think of. So
Wait, I want to know what state he's living in.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was
I wanna
about
know
to say,
too,
hold
what?
on.
Exist.
I forgot.
Boy, live in Kansas, what?
State of calm. State of calm
guessing
does
how-
not exist.
I'm guessing Ohio. That's probably why.
No, it's Iowa.
Oh.
Basically the
It
same
doesn't exist.
thing.
What are you talking about?
Iowa and Ohio do not exist.
I gotta say, what's
Same
out
with
there?
Minnesota, Michigan. Ain't nothing.
It's like Delaware,
There's
isn't
not
nothing in
much
there.
No.
It's nothing but It's nothing but farm fields up here.
It's just a bunch of corn.
Shit, that's my
You got
kind of place.
corn
I ain't
and
gonna lie.
taters.
I really want to go on a farm one day.
Woody only knows the state of anxiety. I know, Sprox. I'm an anxious ball.
Mhm.
Constant state. I'm not in Texas. Also, I don't think the shared chat worked. If you want to, you'll have to click it again since.
Yeah, it's not showing. It's not showing your chat. Hang on. There we go.
No, yeah.
There,
I just
now we're
there we
good
go.
again.
There we go. Perfect.
There we go.
Freaking Twitch, man.
Yay.
Freaking Twitch.
I know.
But
It fucking hates us.
is that all you want to say, Nightmare, or did you have anything else you want to add in on that?
That's all I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Well, Witty, I'll go ahead and let you ask him the 2 questions, so that way give him a personable and also give you a chance to speak.
Yes, I got you. So Nightmare, really, and I'm curious to this because I don't even think I was nosy enough to ask. Where did your username come from? What is the meaning behind the username? Is it like something from childhood that you stuck with, or is it a newer formed name?
It's a bit of both. So growing up and going to once I got into high school and stuff, I started reading more of the H.P. Lovecraft books.
Hell yes.
So I liked the mythos and the eldritch horrors. So I picked, Nightmare because a lot of that happened. A lot of the things in the books happened through nightmares. And then I picked Driver because I love working on vehicles and messing around with them. So it kind of 2 and 2 fit to get both aspects of things that I have enjoyed in my life the most.
Hell yes.
That's clever.
Okay, Nightmaredriver. And then 98 have significance, or is that just we needed a number, so we threw a number?
I've always thrown a number in with my usernames.
Okay.
It just happens to be the last 2 digits of the year I was born.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like a special number or anything like that. Like if 98 was your favorite number or anything. Like, damn, that's a specific ass number, but we'll go with it.
I was like, yeah, well, some places require you to have numbers in your username, so I just got in the habit of always adding one.
Yeah. Fuck yes.
So are you 28 now, or are you turning 28?
I will be turning 28 in July.
Yep.
Oh, you old.
Yep. 'Cause I'm turning 29, so I just wanted to make sure. I don't know if he's 28 yet, so we gonna see.
Bunch of oldies.
Mhm.
1598. Oh yeah, G1598.
Yep. Apologize for being late. I thought the podcast was at 1. Yeah, it is at 1. It just we was doing a lot of technical stuff.
Blueberry's in the chat.
Hi, Blueberry. How you, sweet angel?
How you doing, Blueberry? Welcome in. But yeah, Violet, if you want to join the podcast now, Witty will let you in whenever she has a chance.
Yep. Thank you, Jinsei.
Jinsei, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming through, man. Awesome. So, Nightmare, second question is, what about your hobby / passion makes you stick with it?
Ooh. So I have a few hobbies and passions that kind of I stick with. Like I said, I love working on vehicles. I went to school for it. To me, I find it calming. People that work around me are like, you're not calm. Everybody's version of calm can be different when they're doing something that they're passionate about.
Right.
That's like my main hobby and passion is vehicles and motorcycles and anything that has a motor really and I can tinker with.
God.
Hey, that's real.
I love
That's so cool.
So when you was growing up, you
I-
kind of like puzzles too, right?
Oh, puzzles, Legos, anything that could be put together, taken apart, rebuilt. You name it. My family, I don't have any family members around. I used to take like the lamps and stuff apart and then put them back together and make them function with less parts and work better.
What?
That boy got
Nightmare, how do you
got that
know that you
engineer
can
brain.
do that? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, that is so, your brain is wired so interestingly, because like if I were to do that, not figuring anything out. I can't. I don't work like that. That's so cool though.
That stuff kind of ties into my ADHD and autism. I'm very, when it comes to details like that, I can literally pick a detail and I can work back from it and figure out how it functions and go from there. And
Okay. Fuck yes. So it's like a hyper focus. It's almost like a literal superpower of hyper focus, of like I can sit back, analyze this, take it apart in my brain before I physically take it apart. You're like mentally taking it before physically
Yes.
taking it. Oh, Nightmare, your brain's cool.
Oh, God, it
Yeah.
is, bro.
I didn't realize how, like, in high school, I'm just gonna kind of do a little tangent here. In
Yeah,
high
you're good.
school, they kind of like, they expect people to want to like be book smart. They can read it from a book and understand it. Well, it's not how my brain works. I'm very much a hands-on and visual learner. Like, I want to physically be able to work with it and see how it is. So I took a lot of engineering classes and manufacturing classes and welding and all stuff like that going through high school. And I got into college and from automotive, when we started taking the engines apart and rebuilding them in the transmissions, the teacher's like, you have like the workstation can be messy, but I know where exactly every single piece is.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone moves it just slightly, it will throw me off.
Hey, that's a good photographic memory right there, dog. Sheesh.
Literally, that's what I'm like. Just the attention to detail and just being detail oriented. Thank you, Rye, for letting me know. Thank you, even if you don't want to hear my voice. No, like it's the detail orientation behind it of like, I am going to take every single little thing, like, because my brain's the complete opposite. And I think that's why I like picking people's brains that are like your brain, because mine is not any sort of, there is no rhyme or reason in my brain. It just kind of, I just do the just go for it.
Yeah.
Impulsive.
And you're like, actually, I've analyzed it, taken everything apart, put it back together, figured out the easiest way. And I'm just like, I took this shit apart with a hammer. Now let's fucking go. Like, that's about as far as I get.
I like that.
I'm the same way when it comes to like collectibles, like the Warhammer figurines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I got into that stuff because of one of my high school friends' dads. He was working on them and I thought they were cool. So he literally would like let me come and sit down with him and my friend while they were painting them and stuff. And I was like, I sit there and watch. I was like, I could make my own figurine from bits and pieces of the kits and it be something that would fall into the realm of what's going on in there.
Oh my gosh. So you're taking like completely separate pieces, like not the same match, not the same anything, and you're able to like make it work, kind of fit them together and stuff?
Yes, it's like you
like
can
a Frankenstein monster.
Yeah, you can literally like, if like say one kit has like say a weapon that you want for your character, you can take that part of that off, glue it to another piece and put it on there, and it functions just as if it would be like a normal one you would buy.
Oh, that's so cool, Nightmare. Hold up. I gotta pick your brain so much.
Literally, bro.
Damn.
Awesome.
I love it.
Dude. So that's good. That's good. Nightmare, thank you so much for taking time to express yourself and answer the questions. I appreciate that a lot. We're gonna go ahead and move towards Spec. So Spec, you can go ahead and say who you are, where you come from, everything you feel comfortable saying, so that way you can get the questions in.
Hello, I am Spec. I do not call myself Dr. Spec. That's basically Malik. He does that every time.
Yep.
I'm 27. I recently turned 27 last month.
Oh,
I work
nice.
I work as a security guard full time, and then I'm also trying to change over to IT eventually. So that's what I do.
Hell yes. What would you like to do in IT? What kind of field, direction, that kind of thing?
Honestly, I'm open to anything, but I'm looking at either data scientist or probably try to get like a degree in computer science and try to go in that field as well.
Ooh, fun. Okay. Computer science is dope. Also, thank you,
Yeah.
Jeremy, for streaking. But also, you're trash.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
No. No, that's super. Okay, so have
Savage.
computers always been a part of your life? Jeremy, I know you're trash. He called me trash first. But so
the irony of that is that I haven't got a computer till like I was like a freshman in high school. So that was kind of
oh, that's super. Okay, so what was was it just you didn't have one, so you went to tinkering with it one day, and then it turns out you actually liked breaking apart stuff or putting stuff or figuring software and all that kind of stuff out? Or what was the mean science thought?
So me and my brother both had like somewhat the same laptops, but they were like different colors. So we had like so that we'll know which one's which. But one of ours basically broke. So basically at that point, I took it upon myself to take apart the computer and put it back together so that at least one of us or both of us can still use the computer after like it gets fixed and everything.
Yeah.
So, I think it took me maybe about I think it was a screen, so it took me maybe about like 10-ish minutes because around that time my hands weren't really that big to where I can like have a hard time putting small pieces together. So so that took a little bit, and honestly enough, I felt really fulfilling to actually be able to fix something that was like a computer or something technology-wise. But I mainly did it just funny thing enough, just to play video games on the computer because I was bored.
Heck yes! That's the motivation right there. I want to play some video games. Let me fix this shit real quick.
Literally,
that was like
bro.
right before I got the Xbox too. Like I got an Xbox 360 for my first console. So.
Oh man. Heck yes, my dude.
Mm-hmm.
But he brings the trash out of us. Oh my god. Okay. I'm sorry.
Who brought the trash out? Witty it is. But yeah, you kind of already answered the first question. What got you into IT with the way you answered it? So we'll just ask you the second one. What are some goals you have for your profession?
Well, right now, considering that I have different like the backgrounds at the moment with security and also having gone to school to IT, I want to keep myself a little bit more flexible when it comes to those certain things. Like whatever I learn in the process, I can just use as far as that as a career goal. So if I stick with IT, basically go into like data scientist or like I said, computer science, or use my security license to basically try to go anywhere with that as well.
Yeah.
But I am also open to try doing like new avenues like telecommunications or any other thing that it does with technology.
We're gonna be out here interconnecting everything in the world. Boy, I see you.
I'm going to space, dog. It's okay. I want to be in space before I die. All right. That's what I'm trying to do.
You know, it was actually like this program that they had like years ago where they were going to try to they were going to nominate someone to be a person to go on a rocket ship to Mars and live on Mars, but like it was like once you go there you can't come back type of thing. So it's very interesting.
Live on Mars is the thing.
Yeah. I was like, I don't even know how that was gonna work, but man, if you make it that far, boy, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'll see if I can send some mail to you from outer space.
I don't know if mail could be received in space, but we could try.
The male spaceman.
Oh God.
Fuck yes.
Woody, do you had any other questions for him before we get into the general?
No, I don't think so. I'm intrigued by the idea of somebody wanting to go, like, switching careers. I guess that different from going from like a security guard to IT. I was just more wanting to know what the wormhole of getting into IT from that, because that's not normally like the transition, I guess, to get into it.
My intention was not to go into security in the first place. I was trying to get like an IT job when I was in school. Since I went to the same school as Malik, the security there was pretty much, I knew security for a while and they were pretty chill with me. So one of the guys asked me if I wanted to just get a job to where I can just, make some money, pay some bills, stuff like that. And basically I was like, that sounds like a good idea. It's easy enough. And then basically I would make some money. So I was like, I'll do that for now until I can find a new job. And whether I get to my year mark and then go back to school, or switch to IT right off the bat was basically what the deciding factor was. I was since it was like near my house, I basically had a scooter and that was the only mode of transportation I had. But now I use my left feet, my right feet, making my way there. It's still fine.
Yeah.
So.
Heck yes.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, dude. Fuck yeah.
My dog got big plans, big moves.
Happy. Yeah, I'm like, that's such a cool, like, transition, or a new fun transition into a new field of work. I'm excited for you. Like, I believe, and this may be completely wrong. I'm not saying that this is the correct mindset or anything like that, but like, I've had jobs I haven't had one of the same jobs, I guess. I like being able to have like my hand in all sorts of different things, different fields. So like going from having the, security guard to, okay, now I have an IT background. Like, you just make yourself more marketable that way. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Literally, bro. Literally.
That's what I'm aiming for a little bit more. Cause like, if I get experience in both of them, then I can probably just go with either. Wouldn't matter to me.
You get bored with one, you switch to another. Heck yes.
Absolutely.
I'm all for that.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Dr. Spec. So,
no problem.
Shout out to the returning guests, Z-Fighter and Violus. Appreciate you both. We're going to go ahead and get into the general questions. We have 10 questions. We usually get through about like 4 to 6 of them. So, it's going to probably be the same thing for this episode as well. But we're going to keep going until we get it. Once we get to our 2-hour mark, so in this case it'll be 3 p.m. I'll just ask if anybody wants to extend for 30 minutes or an extra hour, but we'll see when we actually get there around a 15-minute mark for the last 15 minutes of the podcast. So let's go ahead and get into the first question. Witty, go ahead and ask the first question.
Okay, so we have the power of a positive environment over a negative environment. So basically just harboring what is the good, bad, ugly, negative of sticking with a negative environment as opposed to a positive. Do you have any experience with having the negative switching to a positive or a positive to negative? Just kind of any life experience, any sort of input you guys have on that?
Switching from so for me, I was in a negative environment. I was living with another Army vet, because I am an Army vet, by the way. Basically, appreciate it.
Yes.
But he's an alcoholic. He likes to drink every day. Like after he gets out of class, I'm pretty sure he'll probably get like some type of wine and then just basically down that hatch, like the whole thing by the end of the night. Or, he'll be like, let's go get some beers, and basically, just so I can just get out, we go to a bar and basically drink a whole bunch of beer. He had a bucket of it. Like, I was like sitting there like, damn, all right. It got pretty bad, honestly. It was an everyday thing. Day drinking, going through the night, and then I pretty much got tired of it. And coincidentally enough, he was also graduating as well, so I was pretty much glad to get out of there. After that, I moved in with another roommate that I had, and basically it was a really good time after I got done with that, because I think soon after I graduated with my associates for IT before I went to go back for my bachelor's. And honestly enough, I felt a little bit relieved because I was taking a break from alcohol and drinking a lot of water, because that was an interesting several months to spend there during, I think, 2024. Good time. Not a good time actually, but
Well, we get you. Yeah.
No, I mean, it makes sense. Like being around something because alcohol is also a depressant.
Yeah.
So like being around a depressant, constantly having to have that just kind of stimuli in your life to bring any sort of joy, happiness, any sort of feeling, like I'm thinking like an auger, not an auger, that's not the right word, but just where you can harbor just bacteria negative is all that kind of like being around that constantly. Yes. No, I'm glad you got out of that though, because it's draining. It's mentally exhausting and it's mentally draining, because then it starts taking a toll on your actual life and you accomplishing anything.
Yep.
And it then becomes your issue as well.
Yeah, it was a crazy time. Honestly enough, it was just like it wasn't really the greatest to be around, because the fact that he just wanted to like prove that he was right about anything and everything. So
yeah.
So
Well, I'm glad you got away.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Do you still speak with this person at all, or is it kind of one of those where you needed to cut out the poison completely?
I'm cordial. I'll talk for like a bit, but after that, I probably won't talk to him for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. No, that's good. Just for your mental, for everything else, just maintain your even like sobriety or your stance on alcohol now, honestly.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just trying to stay as sober as possible, or at the very least, have a couple drinks, but not go like on the deep end.
Yeah, just have a little fun every once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that. It's when it starts to become taxing on your everyday life that's when when you start affecting others negatively, that's when I'd start to, I guess, gain issue with the said problem.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just to kind of I'll touch on mine real fast. I went through a phase of life of doing I have to be as miserable as possible, and I have to make myself as miserable as possible. There's nothing necessarily wrong, not at all. I could be having a great life, but I thought that I deserved to be miserable, so I fucking just lived in misery for years, and I tried to make everything an issue. Everything was a problem. It was not healthy at all, because I then started using that as a crutch and blaming things that happened to me on just because my life is miserable. And now that I have switched, kind of switched ideas about how I want to live life, switched just how I want to tackle every day, it has honestly changed. It sounds crazy. No, not crazy. I don't like that word, but it sounds like make believe, almost being like, well, if you just start thinking positive, your life will change way better. No, it does. It really does. If you stop looking at everything like the world is out to get you, you are being, attacked, you're helpless, all this kind of stuff 24/7, I promise your life will start getting so much more refreshing, or you'll at least be excited about little monotonous things, like just little bitty things in life. It'll make things so much easier and so much better to just function and survive. I promise living in pity and self-doubt and all this gross negative energy is not going to do anything but elongate your process to getting better and healing. And I definitely had to learn that for myself, because it makes you just not a fun person to be around either. Because if you're miserable all the time and all you can talk about is being miserable, nobody wants to have that sort of energy in their life. There's only a certain point where people are going to put up with it, and then get to the point where it's like, okay, anytime I'm around you, you're just exhausting. You're absolutely exhausting because you don't know what you want. You don't know what you're doing. You are complaining about this, and this. No one can ever help you, all that. So it really, I realized that I was losing people in my life that I didn't need to. I was making others miserable in my life that didn't need to be miserable. And after changing, it's nice to be alive now. And that's my biggest takeaway, I think, is just how exciting it is to finally just be alive and function.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Sounds like it
right
must have
there.
been really tough. Like, what made you believe? Sorry if I'm, this, kind of a personal question, but what made you believe that you weren't like, that you needed to stay in this negative space, that you needed to stay in this negativity, that you deserved it? You said.
So I don't know what the actual core, I guess, trigger of it all was, but I can basically narrow it down to I had stuff happen in my life that I didn't realize had happened. Like trauma is really hard to internalize, and I guess sometimes when things happen to you, your brain goes into safety mode and actually tells you that things didn't actually happen. And so it took me a few years to kind of, I guess, realize what had happened to me. So after I did that, I went through everybody has a harder life than me. This is just one thing that happened to me. I don't know why I'm miserable and sad, so I deserve to be miserable and sad because I can't figure out why I would be sad when my life is great besides this one thing that happened. And, I don't deserve to be happy if I can't enjoy life, even though my life is great. It was just kind of that spiral of I'm not allowed to be happy because other people in this world have it harder than me. And I am being a little bitch about life right now. And so I think that's what kind of my mindset of it is everybody else is miserable. Why should I deserve any sort of kind of happiness or not misery?
What's your outlook on it now, like compared to then?
So compared to then, it's definitely a more so shitty things happen to people and you're allowed to grieve. And I allowed myself to grieve. I allowed myself to grieve. I allowed myself to feel the pain and actually go through it. I allowed myself to speak on it was the other thing, and not internalize everything. So that really helped, was being able to actually put into words how I was feeling and not just let me hide all of this behind me. Thank you for the stretch, Misty.
Man, that's real.
But now it's like a way better mindset of just like, I know that life is hard. Life is fucking hard. It's going to be hard. Yes, there are people that have harder lives than I do, but just because my life isn't as hard as the hardest life someone else has doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to feel things. So that's kind of what really helped me switch gears on being so negative all the time. It really kind of helped that positivity come out in me.
Yes,
I'm sure
it does.
it helped kickstart that healing process.
God, yes.
It's also important to keep in mind that while certain areas of your life might be easier than other people, there will be areas that are harder. There might be somebody with less material wealth than you, or with a larger community, whereas you have more material wealth in a smaller community, vice versa.
Exactly.
And if you are better off maybe financially, but you don't have a community, then at that point you have a valid reason to be, I'm not sure what the word would be, not miserable, but longing, something like that, lonely perhaps.
Yeah. No, and that's really kind of just what it boiled down to, was making myself feel large enough in this world that I mattered. Even though we're all just little specks in the world, I still mattered. And
like
that's kind of what the mind frame I had to switch was. Just because I am this dot on this earth and I am this one person, I still do matter regardless.
Yep. And just cause
Exactly.
just
You have
cause
to.
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. You have to. Sometimes it's hard. And it takes a lot of energy, but you have to remind yourself of that sometimes. And you get in the habit of being unkind to yourself.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. And it's so easy to be unkind to yourself. Like that's like I hate hateful people, and I can't stand when people are hateful to others, but I am the first person to tear myself down. I will be the first person to make the most self-deprecating joke about myself. I will be the first to tear into anything. And it's just, I don't know if that's become a defense mechanism, kind of a safe place that I can go to, because I'm like, okay, if I can make fun of myself first, then nobody else can hold that against me now.
Right.
And I
dog.
think that's what my mindset is still to this day, but it's not as negative of the world is ending, I am ending. I'm not sitting there writing a freaking Lydia Dietz freaking poem saying, I am alone, like sitting in a dark room with a black veil on, just having a moment. Like it's not that point anymore. That was absolutely miserable.
Yeah, man. The mind is a very powerful and very tricky thing. But I was gonna add that just because someone has it worse off than you doesn't mean that your problems don't matter. Like, your problems matter and they should matter to you, but it's all about finding a solution to the problem as well. So we can't get it confused of like, you know, it's cool to feel and degree, but it's also good to make sure that you're making steps towards, you know, healing and being better, because the last thing you want to do is remain trapped in that space for long periods of time, because you miss out on the beautiful things that happen in your life when your mindset is focused on, you know, misery all the time. So good on you, man. Good on you.
Yes, no, definitely. Sorry, I talked through that a shit ton. If anybody wants to answer, I apologize.
She
was like,
answered for everybody, boy.
I know, like, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I
Whoever's
was like,
fucking.
there's like I have two different aspects of it, because I have it from seeing family members treat other family members a certain way, and then like from work.
Ooh.
This is like growing up, I had family members who would tear down other family members for actually trying to succeed and do things because they didn't do that.
Yep.
So they just feel like, oh, your accomplishments don't mean nothing because I never did that.
Yeah, diminishing people's success.
Yeah, so it got to the point I was like, you know what? I don't want that in my life, so I'm just gonna cut you guys out of my life altogether and not have to deal with it.
Exactly. It's cutting the people out, and it's hard to cut people, family. Well, no, I take that back, honestly.
I'm about to say, not for me.
It may be for some, but I find family is not as difficult as I thought to cut out of my life that I needed to cut out. I thought it would be way, way harder. But I guess it kind of comes from that place of maturity of knowing what I want in life now, and not wanting that negativity, not wanting that negative environment, that constant fight or flight. I'm insecure about everything. Yeah, that's very insecure. Yeah, exactly, G. That's a very insecure response.
Yeah.
No, it is, because it's basically showing your skin at that point of like, I hate that you're being successful, and I hate that you are doing something that I didn't think I would ever be able to accomplish, but it's because, you know, I didn't put as much effort as you put into it, but I deserve this. It's that entitlement too, of the people thinking they deserve everything.
And at that, like, when I realized that blood doesn't necessarily make family.
Yep.
Family means people who actually care for you and support you.
Yep.
God, yes. Yeah, blood is nothing. Blood is absolutely nothing. I mean, I have better friends than I do family members, so like, I am a firm believer in it being okay to cut out family members. I know a lot of people don't believe that, of like, oh, you need to, you know, these are the only people that you're gonna have in your life and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, when I was in my darkest, deepest moments, like, who was there for me? Definitely not family. My family was the one that was talking shit about me behind my back. Like, no.
Man,
I had friends. Oh, what up, Ace? Hello. We're raining our night right now as I'm speaking and talking and getting my ass kicked.
And then my other one is like work. I was dealing with the robots at work, and that department, just people always causing drama and making the environment just so depressing and negative all the time. It just got to the point I was like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, didn't even want to go into work some days because I didn't want to deal with it, because I already have to take the stress from the days before home, because if something wrong happened, then we have to go and have like a little safety talk every morning about it. And it's just like, it gets to the point where it's just, you're dealing with so much stress all the time, you don't have the energy to do anything you enjoy doing.
Yeah. And when your hobbies start becoming a chore because you're too exhausted to exist,
Man.
that's when you need to
Man.
look at your life real quick and figure out what the fuck you're actually doing with yourself.
Delete some
Because we
folks out of your
weren't put
life.
on this earth to just work and just suffer. Like, I don't care what you believe, what you think. I think we can all agree on not a single one of us was put on here to just work every single day of your life and not get to enjoy this beautiful thing we call life. Like,
Yep.
living is fucking fantastic. You literally have free will to do anything you would want to do in this earth. It's just a matter of, are you scared and are you willing to take chances?
Yep. And are you willing to take the
God.
responsibility that comes with that choice?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And are you willing to, take responsibility for it? But no, Nightmare, I'm glad that you are getting away from that work toxicity, because that's the worst. Is like, if I'm having to deal with it at work and I'm having to bring it home, you've now muddled both those things and just made your safe place now your miserable place too. Because like my safe place. Oh, go.
I still talk to a lot of the people that I enjoyed working with in that department while I'm doing my normal thing now. They'll come over and we'll chit chat while I'm working and everything, and they're still filling me in on what's going on. It's like, I don't feel as stressed. I don't have to like tiptoe around other people, because I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. You want my opinion, I'm gonna give you my opinion.
Exactly. We're all adults. And I think that some adults don't realize that other adults will talk to you as an adult. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just, some adults are so conditioned to speaking very flat, very surface. So when they actually have a conversation with another adult who is going to not just lay down and take bullshit, it kind of throws people off. You can always tell the person that was definitely ready for you not to talk shit back, or at least have an opinion back, because they'll like immediately get that face change tone of just like, oh, you wanted to actually have a conversation about this. Oh, you didn't want me to just be negative. Oh, like, it's like, no, if we're gonna be negative, let's at least try to get a positive out of this real quick, especially at work. I'm not trying to deal with your negativity, bring it home, deal with it in my house. My house is my safe space. I burn incense, I do sage, I'm hippy dippy with that kind of stuff. So like, if I have a bad day at work, I'm walking around my apartment saging the bitch. Like, I'm trying to get rid of all this evil grossness on me. So I am saging the front door, I'm saging my clothes. Like,
yep, that's real, bro.
It's not healthy. Yes, it is not healthy just sit in negative environments for just a lengthy period of time.
Yes, bro. Yes, and I want to touch on that for the positive and negative environment for myself too, because he mentioned a really good point about just people in social places. I don't know what this is, but the thing that pisses me off so much about when it comes to people in negative environments is folks who literally bond through gossip. You try to find something negative about somebody that you barely even know and say all these terrible things about this person, but then you too pussy to actually say it to the person's face, and you'll actually do a whole 180 and be positive and nice to that person the whole time. You got all this animosity towards this person, man. That pisses me off so much, because eventually that person's gonna find out either through another person, or they're gonna hear you, or you're finally gonna have no choice but to actually say it to that person's face. And for me, when I was in an environment like that, when you confront people who are just so they thrive and they're so easily able to switch into being two-faced. They try to make it seem like you're the one who's crazy for pointing out their bullshit and saying you're taking things too personal. Oh, it's not that deep. I'm like, bro, you are literally being a child and acting like a fucking child. And when somebody points out your bullshit, everybody around you has the same hive mind of, we gonna act this way even though it's a negative thing. And everybody who doesn't agree with that, you need to kick them out. And it's like, bro, I don't want to be around no type of people like that, which is why I have such a big boundary on, don't come to me with nobody's gossip, don't come to me with nobody's problems, don't come to me with no bullshit, because I don't like that. And whenever I see environments like that, I know I am not talking to you, because you gonna run your mouth about somebody and you would never say it to their face. And then the crazy thing is, people like that, they hate being talked about, but you talk about everybody. It's like you hate being talked about, but you talk about everybody else. You're a miserable person. You're a loser. I don't like you. Get away from me. And so yeah, that's why at work I don't talk to people. Like, I just now like started introducing myself to some people at work. Crazy story. This is no sidetrack. I haven't talked to none of the girls that I work with or anything. I was at my locker just getting ready for the day. I accidentally elbowed Shorty in her titty, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "My bad, girl." It was the craziest interaction. And then we finally like talked, and like I introduced myself, she introduced herself, but that was my first interaction with her. I don't talk to people at work because I just know that, especially when you work in the type of job that I work in a retail spot, people talk about each other if you give them enough information. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna give you any information to where any of my business is gonna get around in this spot. I refuse, because it's like what Witty said, seeing how adults treat other adults' information is fucking disgusting in environments like that, bro. It is disgusting.
It can get turned around so fast.
Yep.
Yes. Just misconstrued unorthodox approach.
Hey, listen. Sometimes I talk to girls and I end up in the craziest situations, bro. I got a lot of stories. I didn't. That was all just. I really feel like she did that on purpose when it happened, bro. But I promise you, I was getting ready. But yeah,
and
bro.
If you want to talk shit about Witty, Ryan, get out of here. Also, good morning, Alex. I'm so glad you're alive.
But yeah, being in that type of environment really, like, it wasn't good for my mind-biting spirit, because I was just like, if I spotted an ounce of just disrespect or like anybody trying me, like, I was just like, get away from me, right? Like, I was never the type of person where I'm gonna lash out at you, but like, you could see in my demeanor, I don't know how people can just hide their emotions. Like, you gonna see I'm mad on my face, in my tone. Like, I'm gonna show visually that I am not okay, because I don't like being fake. I'm not a fake person. It irks me to be fake like that, which is why I hate being around fake people. And so when I got out of that environment and I put my boundaries up and put myself in positive environments, like, it's a breath of fresh air when you're just around people who can just tell you what it is from the get-go. I'm not a sensitive person, so I don't get offended by a lot of things. So that's why I love people who just tell me straight up what it is, even if they cuss, even if they like, like people like Free String, people like Sweet Beat, like, they just tell you what it is from the get-go. Even Zenef, he's just they straightforward, and like, they're not finna bullshit, they're not finna fluff you, they finna just tell you what it is. And I love that, because I try to display that same type of energy, and that's what creates a positive environment, because I know that you're gonna tell me the truth. I can trust you with certain information. I can trust you with just knowing that your actions reflect your words. That is literally one of my favorite things about being around people who are just direct. So that helped heal me a little bit, and it made me just realize that in this world, especially in the States, people have just been taught to, chase negativity and gossip and drama and all that stuff. So someone being positive or just naturally gregarious or naturally a good person is foreign, because people just love being negative. So I stay away from just all of that. If that means I got to be in the house all day, at least I know my house is going to be nice. It's going to be quiet. It's going to be positive. It's going to be chill. Don't come to me with nobody's bullshit. Don't come to me with nobody's drama. I had to cut off a lot of family members, because my family members was just seeped in that type of negativity. It was like, they'll talk shit about each other, but never say it to each other's face until the 11th hour, or somebody's about to die. Someone is going through a crisis. That's the only time they'll actually come together and actually just finally say everything they feel about each other. But they'll never say it when it matters, when things are all calm. They'll build up all this animosity. And I'm just like, bro, that's disgusting, bro. That is disgusting for you to even act like that. I don't want to act like that. So I remove myself from a lot of people in my family. and just people who I thought was my friends. I don't like people who gossip and talk shit and just have all this fake energy about themselves. So yeah, that's the power of a positive environment versus a negative environment. It heals you. Positivity heals you. Negativity will destroy you, depending on, you know, the type of negativity it is. Some will build you, but other ones will destroy you.
Yeah, and just real quick touch on this. G, you said it's like high school all over again, and that is one thing that I didn't realize would be the most true factual statement. And I feel like you can't even say it's like high school all over again because the gossip never stops.
Yep.
I mean, the gossip literally went from middle school to high school to college to work environment now. Like, I mean, I'm working with people age ranges from 20 to 65, and the gossip never stops. It doesn't matter age range, anything like that. It is insane how much, just like you said, people just thrive off the negativity. They just want the negativity in their life as much as they can get. They crave, it's almost like an addiction, a craving of the thrill of life, because your life is so boring that you need to stir some shit up.
It gives them the attention they want.
Yes. No, that's exactly what it is, Nightmare. It's the attention. It is. It's the attention seeking.
What up, Alex? How you doing, man? Thanks for coming through. But yeah, you need to be grown. You grown. You are grown. Why are you acting like this, man? You are grown. I'm talking about people who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. You are grown. Why are you acting like this, man? Don't you ever get tired? I got tired of being negative, man. You got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired at some point, man. I don't like that.
God, yes. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I changed my mindset. I feel so much better about just being a person.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, we lingered on this question a lot because it's a good question. But let's go ahead and move on.
No, I love that question.
Yeah, let's go on to question number 2. I really feel like Zenef will be able to add more on this because I love this question. How neurotypical and neurodivergent individuals can have meaningful conversations and connect. I want to go ahead and start because I actually spoke to Mego about this and got some of her insight on it. And she said just asking that question in general is a way for us to start connecting because, you know, how they view things and how they connect the dots and do certain things with their neurodivergent brain is obviously going to be different than a neurotypical brain. So it's good to just ask those questions so that way they can understand, like, if someone with ADHD has a problem, how they decide to go about solving the problem versus how someone who's neurotypical, because I consider myself neurotypical, I'm not diagnosed with nothing, how I would go about solving the problem.
I can speak on this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I love. I love that because we're gonna have Nightmare's opinion, and then I have the other side, I guess, too. Fuck yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nightmare.
Hit us with it. Yeah, hit us with it, Nightmare.
Well, like I know I've said it. Like I don't know if like I've mentioned it like when you guys have been in like streaming and I've been in chat or whatever. But I am diagnosed with autism and ADHD.
Okay.
So as like there are social cues and stuff that I don't pick up on, says other people will. So sometimes having conversations, I can misinterpret what you're saying or you're meaning and not realize it. So I'll end up asking like a clarifying question, and some people, you know, it can ruin the whole conversation for somebody like me because I'm just trying to understand and follow the conversation and make a connection with you. And some people can get upset about it. Other people, like my family, they've dealt with me. They've learned, you know, it's like you have to come at me a certain way with certain questions because it can throw me off if you're like too straightforward or you're trying to like skirt around the actual main question of what you're trying to ask.
Yes, that's what I was gonna kind of touch on, I guess, real quick with the or add on to that. So that's one thing I'll say, like trial is very open, so I feel okay with speaking about this. But like trial is autistic, and he very much told me the way that he needs communication is it needs to be very blunt, direct, straightforward. It's not, do not hit me with a, well, it could be this and it might be. He's like, no, I need the, don't do like a play, almost like just a play on the sentence, play on words, all that kind of stuff. He's like, I very much appreciate direct, questions, direct answers, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, that's something that I can easily fix in my verbiage and my wording when we have everyday conversations, because that's not how my brain thinks. But also, I very much enjoy having conversation with you. So I want to fix my verbiage, fix anything to where I'm able to, speak and have a conversation where nobody is having to question what is actually happening. Where are we going with this conversation? Is this, being misinterpreted? Kind of like you said, Nightmare. It's the misinterpretation of it all that I feel is the biggest. And I don't like using issue, but the biggest issue I think is like we don't take time to learn how to speak to each other very well.
Yeah, that's really all it is. Go ahead.
And I was diagnosed with both of these at like a very young age. Like I was diagnosed with them in kindergarten, so I've grown up my whole life realizing, okay, I have to learn ways to kind of help understand what people are trying to get across to me if they're not being blunt, straightforward questions. Like I have to try to pick up their tone and things to understand what they're trying to get across, because if I take it the wrong way, that can ruin the whole connection or the conversation for both people involved in it.
Right.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's just a skill that I think a lot of people don't have. A lot of people don't have patience for people nowadays because we live in such a just a instant gratification. I think patience is no longer really a huge thing that people have. So like having the patience to be able to not be corrected, but say like you're in a situation, Nightmare, and you misinterpreted something and you need clarification. So being someone like me giving the clarification, making sure that I'm giving it in a proper tone, manner. I'm not doing it to be like, oh, well, what are you, stupid? You can't figure out what I said? Anything like that. Like it's gotta be just the patience on both ends of, our brains are all different. We're all thinking different things. What I'm saying out loud may or may not be interpreted differently in your brain. So we need to just make sure we have that grace of, let's take a moment, let's step back. Does everybody understand? Is everybody on the same page? Okay, we're not on the same page. Then let's get on the same page. If it's somebody that you care about, you will be willing to kind of figure out how to communicate, figure out how to function with that person.
Meet them where they're at.
Yes.
Like
yes.
I can give like an example. It's like me and my stepdad, we love to work on the vehicles together and stuff because I have some of my projects down here at their house. So we'll be working on things and we'll be talking, but like I can misinterpret his tone because he might be frustrated because it's not going the way we wanted it to. So then I'm trying to take a step back to understand what he's trying to relay, and then it kind of falls into, well, I can't tell from your facial cues and your body language and your tone what you're trying to get across. So then it comes into like some people with autism and ADHD, they think, am I not being correct in how I'm trying to explain myself?
And it becomes like a back and forth blame game almost of like one person. Yeah, like one person.
It does that, and then it comes down to like he might be like, it's not necessarily like I'm trying to read his mind, but it's almost like he's trying to relay something, but I'm trying to understand what he's following, so I'm trying to like follow his thought process through the conversation, and it can get misinterpreted a lot so easily that way.
Yes.
And it can cause a big issue.
Dang. Okay, but so you said you got diagnosed back in kindergarten, you said?
Yes.
So you've at least had a length of time where you have been able to kind of work out, I guess, coping skills and stuff to be able to figure out like, this is how I need to handle situations properly. This is like, is that something that kind of came natural, or do you think that is something that you are continuously kind of having to work on now? Still,
it's something you will continuously work on, and you'll have to evolve, because as you meet more people and you create more connections with people, everybody's different. So you're kind of evolving how you're you're communicating and making the connections with the people, so you're not coming off as, you know, too hyper, too crazy, too.
Oh
my
God, that's
God.
exhausting, Nightmare.
Yeah.
It can be, but once the
Yeah.
people start, like, my stepdaddy's gotten better. He'll take a step back. He's like, okay, what are we doing wrong? Like, so we're not having an argument and both of us are getting mad and storming away.
Yeah.
We're trying to work things out. So it's like, it just takes people wanting to ask you questions and learn how you work to kind of understand how to interact with some of.
Oh man, cut out.
I know it cut out. No.
Is it? What is his laptop reset
Oh,
or
I got a
something?
phone call. I'm on a phone.
Oh no, I was like, no.
I was about to say, no, his laptop, Jesus, no.
Yes.
No, I've given up on the laptop.
Okay, well, Nightmare, I have a quick question then, and I hope that I'm wording this question properly, and I very much apologize if I'm not. So how, when you are meeting with new people, do you ever open up with you have autism or ADHD or anything like that? Is that something that is I open up to everybody, or is this only like I'll open up if we have like a genuine connection that I'm feeling?
It depends on the situation. For me, it's just like some people, like a lot of people at work, like they can kind of tell, because, you know, it's become more of a thing in society to realize, you know, some people have things that they don't process things normally as other people.
Yeah. Yes.
Like at work, I have a couple of people that I worked with and with the robots that they could tell that there was something different about me. So they would come up as like, hey, because with your tone of voice when you're like me, when things is like, if you're getting overwhelmed or you're stressed, you start to get like, your tone of voice sounds like irritable and grumpy. So they're like, oh, did I do, like they come and like, did I do something wrong? What's going on? Like they're trying to figure out and understand what's going on.
Yeah. And it's more like just your brain, you figuring
and then
stuff out.
I'll tell them like, yeah, I have ADHD and autism, so I think differently than everybody else, and tones of voice and how people react to things are different than how I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was talking with Lone Stone before the stream started, is like, I have friends and stuff that they want to learn how to work on cars that don't necessarily know about that, so like then I'll be like, hey, I have this and this, so my tone might sound like I'm mad, but I'm not mad.
Yeah. Like I'm actually really excited and happy that you're doing this right now, I promise.
Like I said, like it's definitely situation based on how you explain to people. Like if it's something that needs to be brought up right at the beginning, yeah, I've had conversations with people and they've never known, and then they've asked like, oh, I want to know more about you, and I say that like, I would have never known that you had those.
Yeah. Okay. Situational. I didn't know if this was like a I mean, because like I never expect people, if they have anything, to be like, this is the first thing you need to say. Like, hi, my name is this. I have ADHD. Like, I never expect people to do that. I just didn't know if that was like something that you made known to, I guess, necessarily everybody, every interaction that you had with humans, or if it was more like, this is something that if it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, cool. If I want to start developing a deeper relationship, then we can have this conversation. Or if you more so kind of waited for people to ask.
Now that I'm more of an adult and I'm not in school, I wait for people to ask more questions about me and kind of let them get comfortable with me before I go into it. But definitely in school, making friends and stuff, I'm like, hey, I just want you to know, because I really do like you as a friend or whatever, and I want to be your friend, but I'm diagnosed with ADHD and autism, so my thought process is different than yours, so I may have to ask you clarifying questions on what you're trying to say to me, so I'm not misinterpreting what you're saying.
Yeah. No, and I think that's healthy.
And people have definitely, when I do that, they're like, oh yeah, that's understandable, you don't want to misinterpret the situation.
God, no. Because that's the last thing you want to deal with is like, you guys are getting along great. It's just a matter of one of us mistook or misunderstood this one word that one of us just said, and it ruined the whole, situation for no reason.
Yep.
I feel that on a level of dating. People don't take the time to even try and understand my neurodivergent brain and cut it off even before a proper conversation. Yeah, and dating has got to be, I guess, really difficult with any sort of neurodivergency because
It's a nightmare.
yeah, like you either come off, and this is kind of what my observation is you either come off as like the quirky weird person that somebody's like, I love this weird human, this is great, or you get found by the opposite side of that spectrum of the people that are like, this person's fucking weird, why are they being themselves, like what's wrong with them?
Yes.
It becomes so surface level, and then people start getting into the people that are like, well, I don't know if I can handle that, in my life, that sort of, stress, trauma, your brain working differently. It's no.
And
I can't imagine, that fucking sucks.
And they're only focused on just like thinking that, like, people who don't want to take the time to actually understand somebody on that level is just thinking that everybody has the same mindset as them, which is literally impossible. You think your way because that's everything that you've led up to your way of thinking has led to you thinking that way. It's not every single person in the world. And with dating, everybody's more focused on not being hurt versus trying to actually be open to learn about someone, because in any relationship you have to be vulnerable to some degree in order for it to grow. A lot of people don't want to see a type of vulnerability that may scare them or they may not understand, because they don't want to put themselves in a position where, like, it doesn't work out, or like, people just self-sabotage. And it's very unfortunate that with people who may just be different in the neurodivergent camp, a lot of people could be so judgmental in that regard, where they don't want to see or understand why it is what it is, because they just been socially sanctioned to just go towards what they've been told is the correct way of dating. There is no right or wrong way. It's just if that relationship is working out and it's good for you and making you feel whole.
Yes, exactly. There's no right or wrong.
Definitely, I can throw in there with the dating. It can be difficult with being neurodivergent and all this when dating, because you can be in a relationship that you think is going completely fine, where that person is actually just using you to get what they want, and then when they've got enough out of you, they just throw you aside.
I hate that, man. I've seen it so many times. It is terrible.
It has happened to me multiple times.
And that's just, and the other side of it, I don't have the fucking energy to waste somebody's time like that. Like trying to think of like the pluses to any of that, like being on the other end and like, I'm gonna use this person to get what I want. I'm like, that's fucking exhausting. Like
that's a
putting
learned behavior. People do that.
Yes. Oh yeah, no, like I knew friends that did that. The friends that couldn't be single, that constantly had to have somebody in their life to either take care of them, cater to them, boost their self-esteem, anything like that. They just needed that one just crumb of, please pay attention to me, please give me all the attention. I don't necessarily care about any other human emotions behind this. I just need this one thing from you.
I bet you and Mego can have a good conversation about this one.
Oh my God, yes. Freaking Mego.
They want to be able to reap the benefits of having somebody to listen to, but they don't want two-sided relationship.
They don't want to take the time and effort to actually listen to somebody who is like me. And
yes,
I was like, when I met Blueberry, we were talking and I told her, and she's completely different than any other person I've dated.
Yeah. Because she makes you feel like you're listened to. Like
I feel like a normal human being when talking to her, other than just like I'm reading off of a script.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Nightmare. That's a fucking good.
That's a bar.
Not like you're reading off of a script. No, that's fantastic, because that's exactly what it is. is you are going through, this is the human emotion script that I have been given to me in society. Let me follow along real quick. Like,
and I never want no relationship to feel like that. Romantic, platonic, like, no, be yourself, no matter who you are.
yes, exactly. Hell yes. If you break Charles' heart, I'll stab you in a video game. I know, Ryan. I know.
The advice of people keep forgetting about the fundamentals. It comes down to, because the phrase "be yourself" has been, people might hear that and they might roll their eyes at it and think, "Oh, I hear that all the time, and how valuable can that really be?" But this is probably a little bit off topic. But when it comes to dating in particular, it's being yourself, it makes me think about how there's this thing called, I guess, the manosphere, and it kind of teaches men to be inauthentic. It's their romantic partners that they're aspiring to be with. I think like the cold approach, especially, it encourages men to be kind of fake, and be suave and smooth, and be less themselves than they would otherwise. Put on a mask, and it's that kind of thing that they're being taught, where it's just really toxic. Instead of, it's a whole rabbit hole to get into. There are people who have dissected it far more than I could, and I don't have the time to get into it.
What? Okay, that's crazy work, but all right.
It's a whole thing.
Well, yeah, to compare what he said to the neurodivergent thing, it's like, yeah, they basically say in order to get a level of acceptance, you need to not be yourself, because that's what, you know, a certain category of certain people want. Like, the type of women that you got to do that for is women that you wouldn't even really want in the first place, but you feel that this is what you want to get what you want. So both you and that girl align to each other. And it'll be the same thing. Both the person who's neurodivergent feeling like they need to be a certain way in order to get a certain level of acceptance from somebody. It's like you're both being inauthentic at that point. And like, eventually the truth is going to come out. So, and it may or may not work out at that point. So for me, it's like, I'm gonna just tell the truth from get-go, no matter if it's a girl I like, no matter if it's my friend, no matter if it's a coworker. I'm gonna tell the truth, because at the end of the day, I can't even remember the last lie I told yesterday, because I don't lie, but I can't remember the last lie I told. So I'm not gonna continue to put it up on the face, bro. I just can't do that. I don't want to. But yeah, it's insulting for people who are neurodivergent, because you're basically telling them that, you know, them being themselves is wrong in that aspect. And there's nothing wrong with being neurodivergent. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, fuck no, not even a little bit. Like, people who think that it's some weird cryptic thing that it's your mind is so it's like a caged tiger and I can't figure it out. And it's like, no, all that it is when I talk to Trial, I just need to be a little direct with what I'm saying. That's it. That's it.
Literally,
it's not any extra work other than we don't just communicate through sarcasm. We communicate through actual conversation. Wow, a real conversation with a person? What?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird how that's become such a, like, it's almost like a weakest link kind of thing that people kind of equate it to, of like, no, you know, you have trauma, you're messed up, I can't be around this, you know, I can't have all this added to my life. And it's like, no, I've never been diagnosed with nothing, but I know this brain is fucked up somehow. But like, I'm gonna tell you like it is. Like, I'm going to just be myself, because why would I not want to be my partner to also be their most authentic self when I want to be my authentic self?
The worst thing about it is, I'll say this real quick, is neurodivergent people will, best I can tell, kind of be gaslit into thinking that they themselves are not enough, and they'll think to themselves that they're the problem in some way.
Yeah,
No, most
exactly.
definitely.
Just
Most
do
definitely.
not want to put in the effort to learn the way that they talk, so that neurodivergent people can have an easier time, if that makes sense. I'm not
Yeah.
sure I articulated that very well.
No, that's exactly what I would say. people aren't willing to put in that effort. Woody stole my friend and made him happy. I'm sorry, Rye. I'm sorry I make people happy.
Neurodivergent people see this, just know that you are enough.
God, yes.
Hell yeah.
There ain't nothing, and I think that's what's so gross, I think, about some people is like, it's gotten to the point where like, if you have anything, people just, I don't know, we've gotten a little bit better with the mental health, I think, of, we're all acknowledging that mental health is a thing now, which is, you know, kind of nice, but at the same time, I still feel like it's almost like a label that people try to dodge. And it's like, why what? No, that doesn't make any sense why you would try to dodge somebody because
shame almost.
Yes, because hey, their brain just thinks a little bit different. That's it. Your brain's just a little bit more, it's wired a little bit more different. Wow, cool. It's not like we're all completely different.
It's that need for acceptance in those social like cliques and stuff, man. People don't want to be the odd man out, and if you're that odd man out, or if you like somebody who's the odd man out, they'll automatically outcast you, and it's like, that's not groups you need to even be in the first place, because a real group would accept anybody no matter who they are, what they stand for, what their sexual orientation is, whether they're neurodivergent. People just feel the need to ostracize someone who doesn't have the same, you know, mindset or lifestyle as them. And it's like, we're all individuals at the end of the day. So sitting here trying to make somebody feel bad for being different is insulting them, insulting individualism as a whole. Everybody's free to be exactly who they want to be.
Hi, Harold.
Harold the Hatter. But that was a good one. I do want to end off this question saying that some of the best friendships and relationships have come from the people I've met who are neurodivergent. Like Zenef is one of my favorite people in the entire world, along with Mego and a lot of everybody else who has told me that they're neurodivergent, bro. Like, I really appreciate all my neurodivergent people, for real.
You're invited to the party.
The neurodivergent party. I'm gonna be like the only neurotypical one. It's gonna be me and Witty just turning up with the rest of the.
So you're invited. Yes.
But no, it's real, bro, because it's like, it just made me realize that we all human beings at the end of the day. Equipment. Yeah, literally, bro. We're all human beings at the end of the day. I don't look at him as like, oh, he's ADHD. I look like, no, this is Zenef, bro. He just happens to see things a lot differently than I do. Like, same thing with Nightmare. He just sees things differently than I do.
I see a lot more squirrels.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's also just like the idea of like, I mean, I've never been tested. Doesn't mean I don't have it, but I don't have that label. Does that mean that your perspective of me is going to change if I were to ever get that label? And that's what I don't understand, is what changed that person, that human being, so much with just a word attached to them now. Well, how did that change anything about that person? It didn't. People just, they see labels, and people are so into labels. Labels is a thing. You have to have a label. You have to have something. You got to be, you know, the most normal, the most greatest, the best at everything you do. Like, it's just, we as a society we cling on to labels, and I just don't get that. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Speaking of mental
easy.
Health, you guys should get Harold the Hatter on this podcast.
Heck
yes.
Harold would be Harold, I would pick the fuck out of your brain. You are amazing.
Yeah, we all gonna have that shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why Harold is I love watching Harold, because when Harold plays his games, he is going through it as a mental health viewpoint. Like, okay, why would this person have this addiction? What caused this addiction? And that's what I fucking love so much, is it's like, we're not just playing a video game, we're diving into the psychology of this character in this video game and figuring out, why was it triggered due to loss? Was it triggered due to this and this? And that's what's so cool about, I guess just cool about video games in general, is how like somebody with a mental health, you know, certificate, degree, all that kind of stuff can connect with video games through doing mental health through video games. Like, it's such a crazy concept, but I love it.
Yep. It's dope, bro. It is so dope. Thank you all for answering that question. You all are wonderful. You all are amazing magical creatures, whether you're neurodivergent or neurotypical. You're amazing. Appreciate you all. Let's go ahead and go to this third question, which is Witty. Go ahead and say that third question.
Okay, so we got male safe spaces, how men can support each other's emotions, and how we can better express ourselves without fear of rejection. And
Yeah.
I'm curious, as a bystander, I guess, of how I'll just kind of add to that question, I guess, how women can help men with this idea.
Yeah, I'll definitely go ahead and go. So that's literally what all my platforms are based on, helping men have healthy mindsets and just healthy masculinity in general, because there are so many just terrible labels of like making men feel bad for being men, or just making men feel bad for having emotions in general. And I try to always predicate my platforms so way every man, no matter, you know, what he stands for, no matter what he thinks masculinity is, you can just be authentically yourself and express yourself the way you see fit. Because at the end of the day, we're human beings first. You know, we're men, but we're human beings, so we all deserve that grace, that understanding, that patience. I read a book called Battle Cry by Jason Wilson, black man from Detroit, Michigan. That's probably one of the roughest inner cities you could ever grow up in. And he teaches young men how to not only fight through like learning martial arts, but also master and control their emotions by understanding in the heat of the moment what they're feeling, how to process it, and how to not let it stop them from, you know, doing what they need to do. Because at the end of the day, we have to be responsible, you know, as men. But there's so much pressure put on us without enough grace that we need. So I try to always make sure that I give the men in my space the grace. Like, you can ask Spec and any of my friends, like, I always give men the grace to cry, to express themselves. Like, I never will tell a man to be a man or man up. I feel like it's the worst thing you could ever tell a man who is already at his lowest point. You're basically spitting on him by telling him to be a man. He's at his lowest point.
Here.
He doesn't need to hear that shit. So for me, I just feel that the best way is to just give that man the grace to feel. Give that man the grace to express their emotions. Give that man the safety to know that you're not going to weaponize his shit later on down the line because you get mad. And that's some of the things for Witty that women will do, is that they gather information to use it against their man, or just men in general, in order to get that man and manipulate him into doing something that's beneficial for her. Because for a lot of women, it's more of like they want a man to be vulnerable only when it benefits them, or only when it's predicated towards them. So it's just not making it about you, but making it more about, I want to make sure my man knows that he is happy, he is heard, he is seen, he is wanted. Just like how women want to feel that, men want to feel that as well. We want to feel wanted, we want to feel needed, we want to feel heard, we want to feel supported. We want to know that this woman genuinely loves me, not for what I provide, but just for who I am as a person. That's what men need.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good insight, because that's, I think, what I struggle with is how to not, I guess, baby or feel like I'm being yes. Oh, good fucking word. Yes, condescending.
Yeah.
Condescending, that's exactly what it is. How to not make me feel like I am going, oh, well, you know, do you need to take a moment? Are you not strong enough to handle it? Like, that kind of thing. Because it's not. Like, I am all about mental health. Take care of yourself. Shit. Like, I need you to take care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, how are you gonna help me out in my lowest? Like, we gotta both mentally be all right. But it doesn't, I don't ever want it to come across as something like condescending.
Yep. Any other men want to speak on this?
I think when it comes to, I guess, having like a male safe place, like, yeah, you can have like your selected people that you want. Like, for me, me and Malik live like 2 hours away from each other, so I don't really get to see him as often as like when he was like maybe 30 minutes away. But like, I also talk to him every now and again about my issues, or at least like something that's troubling me.
Yeah.
So, like, I also have my roommates as well, to where I can actually confine to them if needed. So it's basically, I get a woman's perspective. I get a man. I basically get an older man's perspective. So basically, it's kind of like I try to get as much perspective as possible when it comes to having like that safe space, or at least having something confide in someone without having to like go to someone that's a stranger. Because I do go to the VA. I do talk to like a stranger, technically that's trained to actually, to talk to me and basically see about what's going on in my head.
Yeah.
But it feels also relaxing to know that, it's with a friend rather than, with a stranger that basically just logs everything down. And honestly enough, it's like one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, quick question about speaking. So, is it more preferred to, as a male, because I'd say it's a little bit different for me because I am very comfortable talking to men as opposed to women. Do you feel safer in a more male-oriented space that is safe, or is it more so dependent upon like closeness to begin with, or is it like females are typically someone that you wouldn't seek out first, I guess?
For me, I think it would be closeness, because when it comes to people, I don't really like particular people, like any particular people, until I get to
Yeah.
meet them. So I can't really like say for certain like I'm gonna like be jumping right on board on someone else's ship and be like, hey, let's sail together.
Yeah.
No, I'm basically I'm gonna feel you out, see how you operate before I even decide on if I want to be friends with you or not. Sometimes,
Got it.
sometimes, it's like that one thing to where you just do something and then you guys end up being friends, and then eventually down the line you find something in like in general that just proves that you guys don't really collaborate with each other.
Yeah.
So it just really depends. For the longest I confided mostly in women, which wasn't really the greatest, because then after that my business gets like aired out.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
after that it's just more of like I just keep to myself, because men sometimes they get to bully each other. Growing up, bullying was a thing. I see that there's a question about that later, but guys kind of bully one way, girls bully another way. So at that point, it's just more of just selective on who to trust, rather than going to a certain person, like certain which gender, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I always wondered that if it was kind of like safe, if there was a safe space. I know it's person to person, like case wise, but just kind of perspective, because I want to be able to foster a healthy environment for like males in my life, because most of my friends are guys. So I want to make sure that I'm taking care of them in the best way that I can, without coming across as trying to be like the mother figure or anything of that nature. Just making sure everybody's able to express themselves if they want to, and just being able to harbor that safe space.
Yeah.
My
I was
thing
like-
is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, for me, like I have multiple different kinds of safe spaces. Like I have like groups of friends, like you guys. Like I'll come and like bring something up that might be bothering me, like with work or whatever, and just want more opinions. If it's something more where I need to think on it on my own, I'm working on something, or I get on my motorcycle and I go for a ride and just think about things.
Okay.
This is like having different kinds of safe spaces can kind of help, because it's like if it's something you don't necessarily want to talk about at the moment, you can go think on it, think it over, and be like, all right, maybe I need some other people's like how like what they think, like if I like their input on it type of thing.
Okay. So just
Sure.
multiple inputs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Honestly, hold on. Solid Snook got a good question up in here, I think.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah.
What you saying?
I can read it if you need me.
Yeah, hold on. Let me answer Pixel real fast.
Yeah.
My male friends are few and far between. I don't know. I just don't vibe with most of them. I'm the same way, Pixel, with women. It is very hard for me to vibe with women, and I haven't figured that one out yet. I don't know, but that's just kind of how I feel. Same goes with doctors and therapists too. I had a male therapist once and it was terrible. And same, my male therapist I loved more than my female therapist. It takes a lot for me to click.
Yeah. It's
Okay, now, Solid Snook, you got a question up in here. What you got for us?
He said,
okay.
It's in the podcast thing, or are you talking about in the chat?
No, in the chat. He said something about, honestly, I'd also touch on male and female friendships, supporting each other and really hearing each other out. I've got close friendships with both genders, and knowing I can vent my stuff out to either side is powerful, but there's a barrier of understanding different approaches to problems and definitely keeping in mind that their experience vary a lot. And yes, one thing I will never forget that my dad always told me growing up is anytime me and him would butt heads, he would go, you know what? I have never been a 16-year-old girl before.
Yep.
I don't understand how 16-year-old girls think. I am a 60-year-old man, and I have never experienced what you're experiencing. So we need to be able to communicate, and you need to let me know kind of what's happening and have that, line of communication of this is what I'm going through. This is how I feel. You don't necessarily have to understand it, but here it is. I understand that you're not going to have the same perspective as say my mom's gonna have a different perspective than my dad. Like that's kind of what I grew up is. Girls and guys think different regardless.
Yeah.
We just all have different brains. We're wired a little bit different. That's just the way it is.
I see a cool rock, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a cool rock.
Heck yes. God, I love me some cool rocks.
Right. Yeah, for me it's just emotional maturity. What's up, Violet? You got something?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I just said that it's just emotional maturity for me, whether it's male or female, because it's always going to be something different that everybody has, and there's just certain things like somebody's not experiencing the same problem you're having. Like the way they handle the problem may be different because of their mindset or their way of going about things. So it's good to have somebody that can listen and will tell you what I would do in that situation. But at the end of the day, the power is within that person. But yeah, I've had both male and female friends where I was able to express and vent things too. It's a lot easier for me to vent certain things about being a man to other men. Some of the women that I vent to is I get a good perspective from a female perspective about certain things, but I just know that a lot of the time, at least with some of them, they were just trying to get the information so they could have something to talk about. And it's I don't really want to just freely give somebody information unless I know that you're an emotionally mature person, because the information you give me, I'm not gonna display to anybody else. So I just want to make sure I have that same respect. So that's what it was for me.
Exactly. No. Okay. No, that's good insight. That's good insight on my end, because that is something that, like I said, I've never been a 20, 30, 40-year-old male before. So having an idea of what is kind of the best for, different opinions on this is how I handle different things, it really helps me out. Kind of knowing how to, build my relationships a little bit better with my friends.
Fedew's finally here. Fedew, raise your hand, bro.
Fedew!
Yeah, Fedew's here. Yeah. What up, Fedew?
Witty never been a dude. You know what, Pixel? I'm not too sure about that.
No.
What's up, Fedew? How you doing, man?
What's up? I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic, man.
Gucci, dude. Don't ever apologize. You.
Fedew was in chat. I was confused. I was looking for him, but I couldn't see any messages.
Yeah, it's all good.
For a second, I thought you meant fondue, and then I realized
Everybody's like, cheese? Yes.
It might as well be. But guys, this is another fellow One Pace editor, Fedew. He's editing with Zenef for the One Pace project. For those who don't know what that is, it basically strives to make One Pace flow like the manga. And he made an amazing ass freaking edit for Wano called Onigashima Pace. He's such a cool ass dude, real chill. I was watching him edit One Pace on Twitch once, And I'm so glad they were able to actually have him on for the podcast. So Fedew, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come through. We have like 20 minutes before it's time for us to go. But I do want to make sure to get Fedew's questions done before we move on to the next questions. So Fedew, just tell us about yourself, who you are, what you feel comfortable telling us, man.
Okay. Thank you for having me here. I'm a little bit nervous, but I can tell you I am 21 years old. I started editing on One Piece in 2023, and I'm still doing it today. Currently I'm a little bit more inactive than before because I recently got 2 jobs. I went from 0 to 2, so I'm pretty busy, but I'm still working on editing Wano whenever I can, and also working on quality control for other arcs of One Piece.
Hell yes, dude. 21 freaking working on this stuff. That is fantastic.
Some talented
Oh
people
my
all
gosh,
over the world.
dude. Yes.
Talented.
That's phenomenal.
Hell yeah. Well, Witty, you can go ahead and ask him the first question.
Okay, let me scroll up real fast. Okay. So what got you into editing? So, like, if you want to talk about what got you into One Piece editing, you can, or just like editing in general, either or if you want to touch on both.
Yeah, it's mostly editing because I was interested in editing way before One Piece. Because when I was very young, I had a YouTube channel where I played Minecraft, which is unavailable now because I deleted it and I regret it, but I did edit my videos, and that's where I started editing in general, like very young. And then after that channel, I had another channel where I played Geometry Dash, and I also edited the videos, and I made like montages of different levels. And then after that channel, that's in 2018, I started doing tutorials on how to mod the Binding of Isaac. Do you know that game?
I do not. Wait, what is the game?
The Binding of Isaac.
I've never played it.
Okay, so it's a game where you can make mods on it and upload them to the workshop. And I made tutorials on how to mod the game.
That's cool.
And those are available on my channel yet. I didn't delete them.
What?
And then after making all those tutorials, that's where I got into One Piece. Well, I got into anime in general. Then I discovered One Piece. I watched One Piece through One Piece actually on my first watch. And when I hit the last episode of One Piece, I went into the original anime, and it was so fucking bad. I was like, I need to help on this because Wano on One Piece at that moment was going very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
There were like 2 episodes per year, basically. And so what I did was take it upon myself and start editing it by myself because someone needed to do it. It was so bad. So I started. Sorry if I'm talking too much, but
no, never. That's not a real thing.
Keep talking. Talk. Yap your heart away, bro.
Giving us a break. You go ahead and talk.
Yes.
I began this project called Onigashima Paste, which actually it wasn't even the full name. I put that name like as a placeholder, but it stuck. So yeah, I started this project called Onigashima Paste because the arc that was missing of Wano in One Piece was called Onigashima, so I just called it that, and I edited that on my own. And like in the beginning, I was pretty bad at editing because editing One Piece, even if I already knew how to edit, is a completely different thing. but over time, like I got a lot better, and eventually, when I was almost finished with Onigashima based, the One Piece team talked to me and asked me to join the team and edit Wano for One Piece. So I'm basically editing Wano for the second time.
Yep.
Heck
improved.
yes.
Yes, you do double the work.
Oh my gosh. That's so crazy though. So okay, you were originally editing. One Piece reached out to you and was like, "Hey, I would like you to edit this."
Yeah, like they saw my edits and they apparently liked them, so they asked me to do it for them.
Yep.
Dude, that's phenomenal.
Side note.
Hold up.
Side note, I watched Onigashima Paste because I was watching One Piece and Wano. I don't think Wano's still done. It's not done yet for Pace, right?
No, it's in progress.
Yeah. So yeah, I watched the entirety of Onigashima Pace, and when I tell you, I don't care what he talking about. That was an amazing edit. I had a great time watching that shit. That was like, bro, oh my god, it was on the edge of my seat the whole time watching Onigashima, bro. It was such a fun time.
So glad,
Yeah.
glad you liked it.
Yeah, it's a One Piece podcast now.
I love it. I just think that's so cool. Like, you're just doing your own thing, and then all of a sudden, somebody recognizes your talent and is like, "Hey, by the way, like, we really enjoy your shit. Do our shit for us." Cool?
Yeah,
Cool.
it was
Like,
really cool. It was really
yes. Holy shit, my dude.
Alright,
That's
so Witty,
fantastic. Yes.
Now that you've got Malik in here, who has finished One Piece using One Piece. You've got me in here and Fedew, who both work on One Piece.
I knew it.
So now it is time. No, everyone's here. Everyone listen up. Everyone here, listen up.
Yeah.
It is now time for Witty to start her One Piece journey.
Oh,
I
no.
commit you.
Yeah.
No, listen. I commit you to 5 episodes a week.
I can do.
Yeah.
I can do 5 episodes a week.
There you
I do
go.
not mind that.
How long
I
do
do
you
not
think
mind
that
that.
That's a good way to start. Look at that.
Each episode's
long is
like
each
20
episode?
minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. That's not too
That's
bad.
Nearly 2 hours out of every day for.
Now,
Oh,
I'm going to recommend.
5 episodes for a starting point might be a bit much.
I'm dedicated.
So here's the thing. She's going to find out it's really good. She's going to want to keep watching more.
That's my
Exactly.
That's just the
issue.
hope. That's just the hope, though.
That's the issue, Zenef, is I
That's
know
why
I'm
I
gonna, and that's gonna be the problem, is then I'm gonna be 15 hours deep, haven't showered in 7 days, like, I need my One Piece fix. I need my One Piece.
She gonna be in the whole
I
Discord
am.
and everything, bro.
Yes. I'll be sitting
Hell
there. You
yeah.
guys are gonna come in, there's gonna be
You can use
channel for like 60 hours, and it's just me sitting in there watching One Piece, just rotting.
It's gonna be like that Quagmire
Or
meme.
You can use One Piece,
Yes.
whichever one you would like to. And I'm going to say to everyone, please support the original artists and the, pay for your shit.
Yes.
Yes.
The official
all
release.
This is
for
a fan
that.
edit first and foremost.
Yeah.
Just want to say that it is not like, they don't accept money either. What the One Piece project does not accept money from anybody to
Non-profit.
watch it. It's completely non-profit. Exactly.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
doing
They
this
don't do any
pure-
donations or anything?
They can't. It's illegal to do that because it's not their intellectual property.
Oh, it's not. Oh, dadgummit. Okay.
Yeah.
We just had a Patreon, but it's not up now. anymore.
Ew.
Yeah. So yeah.
Thank- Thankless job.
Everything that has to get paid for is paid for through the members of the project itself. So,
Mhm.
but I will say, please support the manga artists, the animators, right? Because that is the right
Yes.
thing to do.
God, yes.
Please support the
Just
official
give it
release.
give it a
Support
chance.
The official release.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Just give it a
that's better way
chance
to
if you
put it.
want.
It's an easier way to put it.
Yep.
That's how the TFS disclaimer goes.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. They say every time
The
before every
official-
video.
Yeah, Team 4-star. Yep.
Yep.
Please support the official release.
Mm-hmm. Fedew, second question is, what has been your favorite edit so far since you've been editing?
Oh, if you mean like, do you mean an arc or
In general, it doesn't
An
matter if
episode.
it's pace or if it's just anything you made.
Well, there are several One episodes specifically that I'm very proud of. It was really fun actually editing 1015, which is like that famous episode that no one should touch. But I had a lot of fun because I expected it to be really bad. Like, obviously, if anyone doesn't know, 1015 is an episode that's mostly filler, but it's very praised because it's really good. But obviously, in One Piece, we had to cut all that filler. So I was expecting it to be bad, but actually the edit turned out really good. I'm proud of it, even if I actually prefer the original. I think the result was pretty solid, and it has its own merit too.
Heck yes. Oh, that makes me happy.
Hell yeah,
You got
bro.
something you're proud of.
Yep.
There are many episodes of that I love actually, because it's so much better than the original. Like, so much better. It's another show directly.
Yep, it's real. And I do want to add just one last question for dudes. When One Piece is like officially done, you guys are done editing, do you plan on pursuing like a full-time career being an editor?
I am actually like interested in working as video editor. Well, I am technically already working as a video editor, but I want to like pursue it further. I want to take classes of video editing, more professional video editing. So yeah, I really love video editing. I loved it my whole life. So I would really like to continue working on video editing.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Out here working in our favorite professions, man. Let's go. Also, guys.
No, that sounds so fun.
Guys, we have about like 8 minutes left. So how are we feeling? Do we want to go an extra 30 minutes or are we gonna close up shop now?
I got about 8 minutes left. I gotta go do some stuff this afternoon.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, we'll just take this time to just thank all the guests and thank everybody for coming through. Fedew, I know it sucks because it was like, you came in last minute, but I'm just glad that you were able to get your questions in and we were able to tailor some questions towards you. But we spoke about the power of a positive and a negative environment, or positive environment versus a negative one. How neurotypical and the neurodivergent folks can have meaningful conversations, and we talked about male safe spaces today. So I just want to take my time to say,
Sounds interesting.
oh yeah, it was definitely. So if you want to be a guest next time, so that way you can actually be with the general questions, definitely just hit me up. I will definitely make sure that we can make some time so that way we can actually get you on towards the beginning of it. But I want to say thank you to my dog Dr. Spec and Nightmare for coming through today to the podcast. You guys made this episode freaking awesome, and we yapped so much, and I'm so glad we got such a great talk session. I love this one.
Yes,
Thank you for having me.
you guys.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course,
It was
man.
so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heck yes, my dude.
So does anybody want to say any last things, any last little promotions, anything you want to say before we end out shop? You can go ahead and say it now.
I got something. Be sure to follow Nightmare. Nightmare is streaming and such, so be sure, Nightmare. We're gonna try to get Nightmare all fancied up, get him official.
Yes, sir. I just sent him a shout out. I don't know if it's gonna play any clips or not, but we'll see.
Heck
Yes,
yes.
hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I'll be back to actually streaming.
Hell yes. Playing some more Harry Potters.
Is your Twitch username the same as your Discord?
Yes.
It do be.
Nightmaredriver98.
Is it case sensitive? Because I know Malik sent a shout out, but I'm not sure if it actually.
No, it is not. I don't think it is. I don't think the shoutouts are case sensitive because I sometimes do them in all caps.
I know raids are definitely case sensitive. But I'm
Yeah.
not sure about.
I just think he doesn't have any clips, because usually if you shout somebody out, if they don't have any clips that's in their feed,
Yeah, I
then,
have no clips made yet.
yeah, so that's why nothing played yet. But I just did a regular shout out, so you guys can go follow him if you're on my chat. But yes, thank you to everybody. Shout out to Fedew, shout out to Violet, shout out to Whitmire, shout out to Nightmare, shout out to Dr. Spec, and shout out to, did I miss anybody's? Did I say Zenef?
We're gonna say it again.
Yeah, shout out to everybody, man.
Heck yes, my dudes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Awesome.
There's one thing I forgot to mention earlier. I'll say it real quick. Spec, thank you for your service. You've got 3 other veterans in here, so.
Yeah, Zenef.
Thank you for you guys' service as well.
Zenef is a Air Force vet. Violet is Air Force.
And Malik is Army. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, I know Malik is Army.
Yeah. That's my homie right there, boy.
You've got a community of at least 3 other people here who, plus Trial as well. Trial's
Navy.
Navy.
Yeah.
He was Navy.
And you've got people who can probably share horror stories about the VA with you. Not me, because I haven't started it yet, unfortunately. But you've got a community here to back you up if you need to talk.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
It's good having you here.
Yep, it's my dog right there, man. Appreciate you all. Witty, you're like getting out of here, right? Like you're not streaming no more?
Yes, like I'm about to, after I hang up, I'll talk to chat, wrap it up a little bit, and then I'm deucing out. I gotta go take my mama to the thrift store.
Shout out to Mama Waifu.
Yes.
Mama Waifu.
We gotta go take my mama shopping real fast.
Hell yeah. I was.
Yup.
Yeah,
She's excited.
Yeah. I was gonna stream about God of War, but I think I'm good after having the Yap session. I think I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. So yeah, we'll start God of War, God of War Ragnarok tomorrow, guys. Here, anybody who's here.
Ooh, it's such a good game.
I know I'm excited to watch it. I'm so excited to watch it.
I actually finished 2018.
I'm still 100%ing that game.
Ooh. Wait, V, you said you're streaming today?
Not exactly sure. I might. Not sure.
Okay. Dope, my
Probably
dudes.
not right after this, but I don't know yet.
Well, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna head out, talk to everybody real quick, and then shut down shop.
Yes,
it was good talking with everybody today. Thank you.
Good to see you all again.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
And for everybody here on my chat, thank you all so much for coming through and showing love. Thank you all for being amazing creatures. As always, I've been Malik, the realest man breathing, the Lone Stone Playboy, the Champion's Chariot, and the Master of the Mind. And we just got done with episode 9 of the Comatose podcast. I will see you all on the next episode. And for my main podcast, my main stream, I will see you all tomorrow with God of War Ragnarok. We got done with 2018, God of War 2018. Now we're playing God of War Ragnarok. It's going to be a freaking movie tomorrow, guys. I'll see you guys then. Let's find somebody to raid. You guys can go ahead and just head out if you need to head out. I'm just about to raid somebody before I sign off.
Right, no problem. Thank you for having me again.
Of course, man. Of course.
Thank you for also letting me come on.
Yeah, man, of course, man. If you want to come back anytime, just let me know.
I will.
Take care, everyone.
Yes, sir. Take care. Go ahead and end off this this little podcast chat. Boom. I will see you guys in the next stream. Deuces.